Hi guys, today we've got a few little random projects to get done, which is perfect because A, we're supposed to be getting rain in a few hours, and B, I'm still not 100%. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. I sound a little nasally still. I thought I was on the mend a few days ago. I sounded better, I felt better, but then it just kind of boomeranged right back around again. So I'm still battling it. So fortunately, we just have a few little light projects to get done. Starting off with replacing our Green Tower Boxwood in the front flower bed. You know, we went over to Merrifield the other day and kind of walked around and took a look at everything. And I was fortunate enough to grab the last 7-gallon Green Tower Boxwood. So I want to get this in the ground now so it has a few weeks before the winter comes to kind of get acclimated and start rooting in. So that is going to be our first project. Then we're going to work on a couple of the pots in the front porch arrangement. We picked up some ornamental peppers, some ornamental kale, and I brought out some of our lettuce that we started from seed. I thought it would be fun to throw one in each container and, I don't know, just kind of see how we add to our arrangement. This is our fall arrangement that we did a few weeks ago, and I did mention that we were going to be adding to it periodically. So this is our first edition: ornamental peppers, kale, lettuce, and then we'll go foraging later this week or whenever I'm feeling better for some pine cones up at the school, and maybe go shopping for some pumpkins. I think that's what it's going to need later, but we're still like, you know, in the throes of September, so I feel like I'm kind of jumped the gun a little bit. And then lastly, we need to fertilize our annuals. The Super Tunia Vista bubblegum experiment on the retaining wall, we need to fertilize that, so we're going to do that. And yeah, that is our projects for the day. So this is our newly acquired replacement Green Tower Boxwood. Doesn't it look beautiful? I love these, and these get tall if you let them. These get upwards of 9 feet tall, but only 2 feet wide. They're hardy in zones 5 through 9, and they can handle a whole range of soil types and light conditions. Up here, they're gonna get predominantly full sun in the afternoon. They are shaded right now in the morning, but usually like around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon is when the sun hits the front of the house. But this is the boxwood that we're going to be replacing. I don't know exactly what happened to this thing, but it completely just crisped up. So we're going to pop this out and replace it with the new one. And I am most likely going to have to rip up a little bit of this creeping thyme. It's fine. It's not, oh, it has rooted in a little. That's okay. We still got to make room and pop this out. So yeah, kind of like tight spaces because everything is kind of grown in, but we'll get that done. So this should hopefully go pretty quickly. It's pretty standard. Pop the dead boxwood out, replace it with our fresh one. I've got our starter fertilizer, and I also brought out a shovel. I'm hoping I can get this done without bringing out the auger because it is pretty cramped in there. So let's get this replaced. Oh my gosh, this is coming out too easy. We're just pressing it down so we have a nice foundation for this thing and it doesn't sink. Some starter fertilizer. The boxwood is replaced and it looks so good. Check it out. Doesn't it look so much better? This whole back area of the bed is now complete. We've got our 4 Green Tower Boxwoods and they're all green. And this was actually a good decision. The 7-gallon is perfect. It is almost the same height as the others, maybe a couple inches shorter, but as far as like width, it matches. These have been in the ground for 1 season, so they are a little bulkier at the bottom. But yeah, I mean, panning around, it looks like it's been there the whole time. Oh, I love that. Off topic real quick, our plant, the blue salvia that we planted, look, it's actually starting to bloom. I didn't think we would see blooms. Isn't that awesome? It's a little over a foot, maybe about 16 inches tall. So exciting. But yeah, I'm really happy with our replacement now. Let me walk over here so you can see. It was a little tricky digging it up and lining it up because you want to make sure that they're all in the same position, same distance from the house. And I think we nailed it. Yep, perfect. And I'm actually glad that we kind of waited a little bit because I didn't want to settle for from a different company or a smaller variety. It was kind of like perfect timing. So yeah, there they are. And the boxwood that we replaced came out of the ground really easily. Like I put my shovel in once and I was able to pull the root ball out. And the root ball came out in 2 parts. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in there in that hole with this boxwood, but the root system, I mean, it looked okay. It looked a little brown. Let me show you real quick. So yeah, here's the root ball. Here's the root system. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, it doesn't look like it really rooted in too much for being in here for a year. But then, you know, when I pulled it out, this also came out too in a separate chunk. So I don't know what happened. Like the root ball just came out in 2 pieces. So maybe that's what got it. I don't know. But we got our hole dug. I added starter fertilizer to the hole. We got it planted, watered in, and I do have the hose on a slow drip back here just because the soil looked a little too dry. So I just want to make sure that the root system gets a deep soaking. Now that that's done, we can move on to our second project, and that's going to be the front porch containers. So we potted up these containers on the front porch a few weeks ago. I was just itching for some fall color. We reused our boxwoods, and then I came in with some pansies, some creeping Jenny, and a bunch of mums. Now these are the pots that we're going to be focusing on now, the 14-inch pots with just the mums in them. I've got one on each side. We've got 3 mums in each of them, but I want to fill in these pots a little more. We've got a space here, here, and right back in there. So I'm thinking we have an ornamental kale, or 2 ornamental kales, 2 ornamental peppers, and then I brought up some of our romaine lettuce that we started from seed. And I thought this would be kind of fun to kind of just poke or pop one in the back of each one, kind of just a little mashup. So we've got the Medusa ornamental peppers here, which are pretty colorful and wild. We've got reds and oranges. And then we've got the Hot Pops purple ornamental pepper. And look at that. Orange and purple ornamental peppers. That's so pretty. And then over here we have our ornamental kale, Kamomi red. That should be pretty interesting to see this one color up. And then we have a bicolor, bright and early pink bicolor. That's really pretty too. And then romaine lettuce. So yeah, I just figure we'll put an ornamental pepper, a kale, and a lettuce in each pot. And then we'll just take a look at them. And the best part, the soil's already been prepped and fertilized, so all we have to do is plant them. All right, guys, here we go. I kind of like this idea of decorating for fall little by little instead of doing it all at one time. Okay, I'm just gonna figure out this whole layup and then get them planted. Where do I want what? I think, yeah, okay. We'll do that there. This right there. Or maybe over here. No, right there. And then I think I'm gonna put the pink over here. Red over here. Yeah, and then lettuce is back there. All right, I think we're ready to plant. I've got my ornamental kale in the first one, and I'm tipping the root balls a little bit this way so they kind of spill out over the side of the container, and I'm making sure to cover the root balls with soil and making a little bit of a mess. All right, one down, one to go. I'm gonna switch them up just because I want them to kind of match each other and mirror each other. So I want to make sure this is on this side and the peppers will be over here. Okay, much better. Oh, these containers look complete now. Look at that. Oh, I love that. Look at this one over here. Ah, they look so pretty. So you can see that I kind of mirrored them. I've got the ornamental kale coming out on each side. In this pot, I put in the bicolor pink, a lettuce, and the Medusa ornamental pepper, all tucked in between our mums. Oh, it looks so good. And then coming over to this container, we've got our ornamental kale red, which I think I need to turn this a little. There. And then we have our Hot Pops orange and purple ornamental pepper. Isn't that beautiful? And then we have a little lettuce tucked in the back that's drooping a little, but it'll perk up once we get all of these watered in and they get situated. But I think this whole area is just coming along. I love all the fall colors. And I've got some little tea lights over here. I picked these up at Goodwill. Aren't they cute? But I just think this whole area looks good. It's coming along, you guys. I think pine cones and pumpkins are next. But I'm really enjoying this. Look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, last but not least is fertilizing our Super Tunia Vista bubblegum containers on the retaining wall. Let's go take a look at them real quick and then we'll get them fertilized. Here they are. They are so pretty. And I love how it's just like this big bubblegum pink mound across the retaining wall. Initially, I had hoped that they would spill over a little bit more and get a little bit larger, but no fault on the plant. It's the container. It's a little too narrow, and these get really, really big, and they're such vigorous growers that they need a little bit more support in a container. So some of the branches have been snapping off, but gosh, they look so good. Look at that. Let's take one little last look. I just love that. So these have been getting the Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on how many times we water. And this is the fertilizer. Proven Winners Premium Water-Soluble Plant Food. Let's just head over here to the vegetable garden. We've got a spigot right there. We'll just mix it up real quick. I've shown you guys numerous times how we fertilize our annuals throughout the season, but sometimes a little refresher is nice. So this is what the fertilizer looks like. It comes with a scoop, and the measurement is 1 scoop per gallon. This is a 2-gallon container. So we'll get 2 scoops in, and then just fill it with water. And you want to mix it up a little bit. And then we just water. And you can see it's got a little bit of a reddish hue to it. That is the chelated iron. The Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer also contains chelated iron, which helps keep the foliage looking really lush and green. But look at the water. Can you see it? It's got a little hue to it. And I'm just filling these up right up to the rim. Nothing too crazy. And let's not forget our hanging basket. Until it runs through. It's so pretty. And that's all there is to it. Pretty quick and easy. It doesn't take a lot of time. And again, I fertilize the annuals once a week or every 3 waterings. And typically during the hot part of the summer, I find myself fertilizing twice a week because I am coming out here almost daily and watering them, because especially for these, the containers are so small and the soil dries out pretty quickly. So it doesn't take long at all. This fertilizing probably took all of 5-10 minutes, and that's with filming and moving the camera and mixing everything up. Again, it all depends on how many annuals you have and their location. The more annuals, the more containers. Obviously, it's going to take you a little bit longer, but they benefit so much from it. And that chelated iron in there really keeps the foliage looking super lush and green. So yeah, it's just easy, and the plants are just thriving on it. What a nice, productive morning. I love mornings like this. We got a few things accomplished. We replaced our boxwood, which I'm really happy about, because even though I didn't mind that little copper exclamation point in there of the dead one, just looking at it now, it just looks so much nicer. I love it. And we added to our front porch containers, which I'm super excited about because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go foraging for some pine cones and maybe fill up a couple baskets and put them on the front porch and fertilize the supertunias. So all in all, a very nice, productive morning. And you guys, that is it for our video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.